I'm like all charged up. Hello. Let's see what we got going here. I'm so used to just holding the phone. It's been something I've done just for years, getting through these energetic shifts. And let me tell you what, the more that we get into completing this year with the sun going through Aquarius and Pisces as a collective, and like figuring out where the power sources go energetically, because you're dealing with space. When you're talking about the wheel and you're talking about energy in each house of the wheel, realize that that energy's been there for so effing long on a repeat cycle that it's created a new energy field. Realize that the whole world and the wheel was created, and we all went into the wheel to incarnate, to get back here. That's just what you've forgotten. That's the Lemurian teachings. Realize that the land that you call Lemurian, that's underneath the water, is activated. Those codes are coming up here. Realize that whenever you were in Atlantis, you were really small and you never got bigger again. Realize that your world and the world that we know it and how big we think it is from me to you in different dimensions is not the case, because of how it energetically is set up, and literally how the energy and cosmic energies flow through the planetary system, through the human body. And then what energy that creates is what you call gas. In every form. I don't care what kind. Because why? It was a scientific table that was built from one element, and then everyone thinks it's a table, but then they think it's able, but it's actually the same thing. You've got a back door in a tech system that carries the original sin. Do you know why? It's connected to your body. Now, I came on here because we're collecting today, and it's a big deal, because these are all three of a kind energy sequences in the physics of everything. Everything in existence, every particle down here or instrument that's moving in a 3-paneled field now has a connection in the middle of all three of that triangle. If I have a propeller and I have 3 things sticking off, in the old energy, all the energy was coming in through that propeller, and then the motor is what kept those propellers running. Well, in all organic physics and in all Trinity physics, what's happening is there's a new sequence that holds all 3 above it in a motorized sequence that doesn't require a motor. It just takes a group to turn the physics, to turn the motor on, and my team's done this. Okay? Because energetically, what you think is coming from an engine and coming from this, and yes, those things in between it are what's capturing some type of power source that's moving through an engine. But what we're talking about is overall physics that engine is going to have to harness in order to run at some point. Not yet. We aren't there yet. We're just now, this energetic is terraforming to work with the human body to keep the engines running, instead of needing the human body to run the engines off of. And there's a big fucking difference in the times that we're in right now. Technology was here in order for many reasons, but number one, technology is the basement of all of this. It's not the future. It's the most prehistoric past that you can get to to the density level where everything breaks out to code. And whenever you get to the point where everything breaks out to code and there's nothing left on the in-between and everything's running on a code base, you're at the point of almost no return. Because whenever the human race is to that level, then realize that that means that the whole atmospheric dome is tuning and projecting and running off a loop that is coming off the people. And that means that the people aren't in charge. That means that that no matter what the people do, when you come through the system, that the system's been on repeat for so long that the magnitude of power that it takes in order to break those controls off the system is monumental and requires every single one of us and all the power sources, and even maybe why they are building the data centers the way they are to this point. We've all been working together in order to blow. This is why you have AB and beta and alpha and omega blood. But you got to remember, and this is what nobody taught everybody down here, to the extent that Greek letters were running shit, because everybody wanted to think that everybody was the same. Maybe if you're a bunch of omegas, if you're alpha and beta and you've been raised alpha and beta, oh my God, it is so far from omega, everyone's the same, that it's completely opposite of that. It's beta, bow down and be my bitch anytime I want and keep the house clean, and alpha gets to walk around, do whatever the fuck he wants. There ain't no omega setting in an alpha beta world. If you've been an omega this whole time, then y'all been leading that. You've been doing that, but you've been ignoring the alpha beta problem to the point that the alphas took over the betas, and now you got a beta alpha problem, and it can't be solved with an omega. You follow what I'm saying? This is basic physics a kindergartner can do. And it's as a child that you have to look at it, because you have to remember the scientific table in this analogy is the feminine. You got to remember that there's a connection that goes back to one. It's so interesting, and it's not your fault. And, and we're all learning this, but in every generation, what I'm finding, every generation that's come in newer wants to disconnect from your root system more and more, because you don't understand what the root system brings you. I understand, because the root system is what the problem was. However, if you don't have a root system, then you can be so easily taken over. And we can create anything. Anything. If we get in a group of beings around us that convince us that we need something, we can create it. How do you think we ended up in Bit World? Now, you think that that's not a problem unless you get in with a bunch of gamblers, mafia people, and then they take divine code and they write it up like a cosmic mobile, a money maker, and make a whole bunch of Stepford wives out of it. And you know who they did it to? The Omegas. Now, if they took over all the Omegas, then what did that make? A beta and alpha war. Because it's all one system. Betas are connected to the omega system in a different way. The betas produce, the betas flower, the betas move the pollen around, the betas make the good home, the betas clean it up, the betas are basically like y'all, and that's what it was considered, the fucking trash can. That's how they thought of us. That's what it was, my bitch in my trash can, and print my world. Well, you know where we get our power? The Omegas. Alpha doesn't have an E. Alpha doesn't have a connection into Omega. Alpha doesn't have a connection to G-force. Alpha doesn't have a connection into G-force without the what? Beta. And then their connection into what? Omega. There's a show out on Peacock Plus. Oh God, what's it called? That has a futuristic. I just looked it up. Not something like the New Futures. Anybody know what I'm talking about? And it's a really good. And if I don't come up with it in the next minute, but I watched it. And it's a really good representation of this, because it's really what's been going on down here. If you just take the different races of beings and then put them in gamma epsilon and watch it. If you take the Hispanics and say, okay, the Hispanics were the epsilons or the gammas, and this group over here was the this, and this group over here was the this, and then watch it. It's what's been going on. Because in their world, they were just hybridizing gammas. They were just hybridizing epsilons. They were just hybridizing. This is how alpha betas came to be. This is why alpha betas, you know, and the hybridization sets, and why the spiritual community couldn't even accept us as who we really were, is because we didn't come back looking like the spiritual deity that you appeared. But we went through a fucking processor, came out in bit code on the other side, and then had to magnetize all of our etheric body back together just by freaking string theory and energetics, and all of us filling in the cracks all over the world, and held it together in a giant bubble. And then lo and behold, it started surging. What everyone also needs to understand is that for those beings like me who consciously have the full plan and lived it consciously, and we had to break into this bitch in order to get you guys out, and we had to go back in and do it a couple of times. We've seen how we print and clean people. And it'll blow your mind. I've watched it happen right in front of me, and it is still so hard for me to believe that I can heal a homeless person, set him straight, and then turn out a celebrity overnight. And I'm not even fucking kidding you. When they do these sacrifice deals, how it changes the entire bloodline in a week. And I mean time. Because when you start changing a bloodline, then you change every single dimensional set of time, which is what over hundreds and thousands of years of them messing with it created a grid that you call time travel. But just like that grid that you call time travel, and just like that periodic table, it's the same thing, and it's attached to latitude and longitude lines that are attached to your feminines that were buried to hold them. So whenever we're talking about Aquarius, and we're talking about 3 connection prongs that are now sending you an energy field, also realize we're talking about the latitude and longitude is going to start talking to you. The walls are going to start talking to you. Your dead ancestors are going to start talking to you. If there's somebody trapped in your wall, it's going to start talking to you. If you're in your cave somewhere or trapped in your castle somewhere, which a lot of us were and a lot of us are, I had to get out of a pyramid, and you don't just get out. You got to stand up and walk with that motherfucker on you like a dress. And if you don't understand some of what I'm telling you right now, then you won't understand how the hell there's Barbadolians and Metatrolls down here, but it's what they are. And that's why I came over here to talk about it. Because this is what I named them. because my Lord, we're trying to keep track. Now, all this, 2018, 2019 is what we were going through. Now, realize that what we're realizing right now ourselves is how long we've been in these independent spells as we come out of them. So there's a spell that is ending on the entire collective this week, right now, that was set up January 6th, 2020. There is a spell that was set up on golden some bullshit with the government, with all their psyops, with all their consciousness, whatever the F-balls, with the industry and all their printed characters that they've got running there, whatever the F, that was in place. It started at the Golden Globes, 2020. January 6th, and I just realized that it was a year to the date when I got the download. Then the next year is when the White House shit happened. But Obama set this up 2020 at the Golden Globes. If you have any of that on a tape, go back and watch it. It was the weirdest Golden Globes you've ever seen in your life because they were setting it up for right now. And the spell just came off. So all those Trinity sets that are running their Trinity thing, yeah, if you're going to link into Trinity sets today, but tomorrow it's linking into 4-prong. So tomorrow all those triangles are going to line up over a new column set, a 4-column set in the core. Then next day, what is happening is straight flush. So I'm not talking about houses. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's your kings, queens, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's going to be lined up in the cylinder. 2, 3, whatever, all your different stuff too, because realize everything's got to come through the wheel. So this is everything, how long it's been in existence, the states, Saudi, all that. It even kind of all resets brand new because it's a new fucking frequency because we blew the back doors off this motherfucker because the being that was all roten on woke up. Your table is alive. Your scientific table is alive. The technology grids are alive and they print what you put in them, and they have been. It's called 6446. So in this process, especially in the industry, you can look around and you can identify them. There's the Barbadolians and there's the Metatrolls. Now, does anybody on here know what I'm talking about? If you want to give me some hearts, there's the Barbadolians and then there's the Metatrolls. Now, these are going to be all your industry people, but you can actually, once you understand a Barbadolian and a Metatroll and what their design was in the system, then you can also kind of start identifying which groups of karmics are working for the carousel system of the Barbadolians or the Metatrolls, because it's basically what if the fuck was. Every single handler system down here, every single one. I don't care if it was connected to the Catholic Church, if it's connected to the mob, it's connected to Nusip in Nigeria. I don't care what it's connected to. It was making Barbadolians and Metatrolls. Now, a Barbadolian is going to be like anybody who gives over their entire body and soul into something. Now, that even started, and originally the Barbadolian template, even, everything started with the good, because you got to remember, this is end of days, not what it started out being, because everything lost intention in a system. So even your Vespa virgins, see, and this is how these templates for a Metatroll and a Barbadolian come from natural, organic, from the entire human race that are building up royal lines. This is also how the industry became your royal house, and you thought that you didn't have any kings and queens, but instead you just had Aquaman and Superman fucking getting paid behind the scenes to kick your ass. United States, we had a monarchy, but it was like we were getting cooked to make everybody's monarchy. United States was the golden pot. The Barbadalians are going to be any of the women that were in a template set that came through it, saw what they saw because they came through the process just like we did. I've been restricted for 10 minutes, so it's about to get good. And so the templates and the Barbadalians, now this also is connected into Hanna-Barbera because this is when they started writing templates. It's actually even what Mickey Mouse really is, because what we were really always creating and attempting to get back down here is a full human vessel that's manifesting right in front of your face as it's supposed to, in a field that's designed to do it. And they just kept throwing trash in our field so that we couldn't get the screen to match, and then that's how the human race almost fell to the bottom. This is also what created a DNA washing machine, which is basically what Earth is. It's a soul learning all the seeds. You got to remember that there might be other planets, but this is the only place with the human design on it where we hold 0 point so that things can physically manifest. But the humans hold that. Without the humans holding that 0 point, there is no 0 point. So that means there is no physicality. Everybody says that they want to go home and they want to go to heaven. Well, yeah, maybe when you're unconscious. When you're conscious and in heaven, it's a fucking hell of a long wait. When you're conscious and you're in heaven, it's a hell of a long wait. Because now you're up there working with the collective. You're watching everyone down on the ground. You're going, oh my God, that's not what I built it. What are you doing? That isn't what it's used for. You need to put it down. But you're having to do it from up in Aquarius in an etheric body that's with every single one of the characters and lines that has ever created it, because you think that you just came down here and created it by yourself because you just don't remember it's been done before. And this is even how things keep getting on repeat, getting recreated down here that shouldn't have been recreated. This is why they always want to keep you going back to the past, so that you keep recreating the problems of the past, because in the future there's less problems. So this isn't like a shift of balance. This is an entire rewrite of reality. And the wheel is your inheritance as you're coming out of the wheel. And you're backing up the codes as you're coming out. So your body becomes a code set. Well, if you're a Barbadalian, then this is the group of beings that have signed up to sign over their code sets to a group to be utilized as a group to collect codes. So they'll send their Barbadalian to a party to literally cipher people's beauty codes. But it's specific energy. It's not power energy. It's very sly. It's that jealousy energetic that even drove them to go as far as to sign. Now realize that if your aunt or your grandmother was in the industry and they had signed up at some point to be a Barbadalian, then it's still affecting you and your children today. This is why, we all say, yeah, it's cleaned up, but you don't realize what all was affecting you until you go cleaning these lines and coming out of it, and then you realize that it was some switch in energy. It was right, because it was all getting put together in a pot. And this is why certain lines that were gorgeous are now ugly. But then you got other beings that are like youthing, and then the other one, like, this is that type of energy. So this is even why Jason Momoa put his jacket on Lisa's shoulders. That's like his hide. He was basically giving her his hide through this transition. Problem is later on, then he went and put it on Kate Beckinsale too at the Oscars. See, they have these little things that if you don't know the overall story of what's going on, then you can't see it. But it's happening right in front of your face. It's not being done in secret. When you understand the intention, you see it. If it's tuned to your story, you'll see it. If it's not tuned to your story, you won't even pick it up. Well, all those stories are now turned on because those 3 connections are no longer blocked. So in every single DNA strand, whatever was keeping the gamma over here and the epsilon over here and this over here to make a subset that's sub whatever the fuck in order to control whatever the F balls. In every single Babylonian land, because it's what was built because of us in the different languages, and us in the phonetics that we speak in the out of our bodies, built the terrain that's around each one of the languages. That's why it's a big Swiss cheese. It's why you can energetically change physicality as soon as you walk in from one to another. Look different, everything. Because it's a different code set that your energy's coming in. One of the most powerful energies that I had to fight off wasn't a demon possession. It wasn't vampiric. It wasn't anything that you would consider organic from demon, Satan, anything like that. It's not what it was. It was a technical template that was being pushed on me. I called her Siri because it was the flip of Iris. But it's but because it's this fresh, naive, wide open, and it also really is like AI, because we developed AI through this. If we wouldn't have kept going, and if the human race wouldn't have evolved, you wouldn't have AI, because there wouldn't be a fast processor of humans down here to process it. But realize the more that humans use AI, the smarter we get and the dumber the people using it are. Because we're the fabric of the system. So every question that's being asked over AI right now, and every email that's being sent back and forth, whatever, yeah, they see it, but we see it too, and we don't even have to look. It's inside our system. It dictates how we move. Do I know and see all that code running in my head? Oh, hell no, thank God. And in fact, that's what you learn. You learn how to block it. You learn how to keep it running back there. You learn how to communicate with it. And basically, what you're doing is you come through this system that is set up in order to retrain you how to come back into an operating person is coming out of quarantine. You're coming out of quarantine. A prison planet. It's why you also don't want to rush out. It's important to know what you've been doing down there and who you've been connected to and how you've been pulling it off. In fact, every single thing, it's important to know, because whenever you get up here, you're supposed to do it all. And you don't even know. You don't even, and so if you try to jump steps, i.e. sell your soul to be a Barbadolian, then you're going to get away with it for a really long time until what? The science table comes back and claims the template. So, the festival music industry, their job was to make Barbadolians. Their job was to recruit, and this is your concerts, and especially the festival people, especially the festival people that go out there and just do tons of mushrooms, lose their mind, just want to be free, just want to fuck everybody, and blah, 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 blah. I just need everyone to know that they're wrangling that energy together, and then they'll have one that they keep with them that's always a half-wit who's 40 years old and acts like they're 5. And that's their voodoo template holder. And concerts are tuned to ignite that energetic to make more. Now, not every concert. If they're a big wig in the industry, it's just their concerts become that, and you can't get away with it, and you won't be able to get on stage and produce a concert if they don't agree with what energy you're signing up to bring, which is why we're having to tumble the system. Because we can use this same system to get everybody in an auditorium and heal everyone at once. We can use this same system with the right music and the right dancers and the right communication with the audience, and we can put them in a dome and we can tell them this is going on, and I guarantee you people are going to start levitating. And whenever you leave, we're going to, and in fact, whenever we have to go clean the White House, or if we have to go clean a castle, or if we've got to go clean a government building of some sort, it's going to require some type of concert for us to process that energy through so that it doesn't create some type of massive thunderstorm or electric storm. There's a physics to all of this. It's moving in groups. Because our energies move in groups no matter. All of us that are at higher frequencies are just operating on different frequencies. And if you think you can't see X-ray, you're fucking wrong. That's what Cohu 32 is. You're seeing it. You can read every energy in every place. The human can now read up to the 55th dimension and create with it. And by the way, that's what your tech was set on. Metatrol. And that's basically what I dealt with most of the time was Metatrols. I dealt with the Barbadolians only because I was having to deal with all the dolls that they were making on our templates. But for me, with the Barbadolians, it's like I always knew that they were being made, and I was freeing the Barbadolians from their own living hell, which basically became their body in the end, because it was getting bought and sold, and And is even the base root of your AI robotics and the robotic body. Because realize that the human race ends up, a million years, then it's not going to be that you're human. In a million years, it's going to be a human birthing out of a robot. And it's going to be convincing everyone you're human because everyone left thinks they're a robot. Because if you don't have energetic control over your body and we're running it up here, and you're not running it with us, then you're in the system. This is why you have to do it yourself. There's nothing we can do but help you. But what you have to realize is that there wasn't a way out before. And I think that's what the main thing is that the human race needs to understand. Like, it wasn't that anybody did anything wrong. It was a puzzle that we had to solve as a human race in order to be awarded the way out. And it's been completed. But it doesn't mean everybody's getting out if you're not ready. Because you have to learn. The powers that you hold up here, they got 5% of the energy. Look what they did with it. 5%. 5%. That means y'all haven't even... I'm not even operating. We weren't even here. We hijacked the realm and rebirthed the cosmos, and we weren't even here yet. Do you think that next 1% is going to show up until everybody's ready to hold it? And then when it comes, it'll be delivered to the ones who can. And what is so crazy about this whole thing is that what the human race has done is set up their own monarchy again. Really did. The entire industry and the elders that are fighting against the man supposedly this whole time went and signed up with them, sold all their land, sold all their birth things. We had to deal with all that. All you Indians that are making money off your casinos, you're about to lose it all because you sold your children into sex slavery. Did you fucking know that? Do you care? Or do you just want that $8,000 a fucking week? I mean, everybody's got to learn. You want to tote that you're an Indian and that you're so fucking special and that you know what's going on, but then you hold the keys and then you bar the door and then you sell it off? You just lost your privilege. All of us that had barely a connection left saved the day. So who gets to hold the name? The ones who used the power, not the ones who sold it to the man to make a Seminole. You follow? So this is where it don't matter what you look like. You need to get away. You need to get over that quick. African American people, y'all need to stop thinking white people don't have any power too. That'd be your first fucking thing. And you need to realize that your most ancient ones of you aren't black right now. Our melanin was the first goddamn thing that went on that table. Anyway, it's awards week. Metatrolls are sent in just to vacuum. Jason Momoa is the best thing with it. I mean, I swear he's the biggest Metatroll. If you actually go back and watch every single movie from the beginning that Jason Momoa has put out and watch what story he put to the collective, he'll even show you he wasn't real. In Game of Thrones, he didn't even speak English. The first movie he was on, he was the ship. He was an AI ship that takes over the thing and won't let him out. Sounds about right in my world. This motherfucker's been tracking me since 2012. Writing in over my storyline as Christy. 2012, I got attacked by my handler at midnight. He tried to kill me. I barely made it out of that alive. He goes to prison for a while. 2020, I don't know, it's 2017, Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet write a bunch of fucking shit, put it out there. Of course, I see it because it's written in my energy, and it's talking about how Lisa threw him a surprise 40th birthday and then came at him with a pillow over his face. He literally wrote in on my energy, used my story. That's why they were watching us. They had been watching us for 10 to 12 years even before we activated y'all. All these readers that are pulling these stories that are talking about, and especially the Joker one, you know, and he's talking about how you outsmarted him and how you MK Ultra'd yourself. And that really all has happened. But we've had to use our abilities and we've to use the collective currents to do every single bit of it. None of it was self-propelled. None of it was self-deity propelled from some unordinary source. No, it was collectively what we fucking made, put back together, stood together, and said no fucking way, that held it and that's taken over. So anything that was in the wheel of your creation cycles, of your body, of your DNA, all of it's been upgraded. All of it's on a higher energetic, and it walks on water right above their bullshit. It's how you start seeing it. when you're in the past week, I think it started around the 11th. I think it was linked to the Golden Globes. I think that what they did at the Golden Globes 2020 January 6th, they just tried to connect. And I know, cuz I made a move in a transition and it almost caved in my ceiling. You're dealing with magic. Once that magic goes out, unless you are of pure etheric form that can change the magic in the middle of it, and we got that group in our collective. And that's what we've been doing. And that's what time weaving is. But we've been having to do it as a collective over the past 5 or 6 years, each of us doing grabbing the baton and running it this far, and then not knowing how it's all going to connect from way high, but mysteriously it does. And it's like this one took it this far in Arkansas, so then it surges over here, and now we go this far over here, and then it surges over here, and then the whole thing lifts up, creates a new frequency that everyone can hear, and then surges. Aquarius Awards Week. First one ever. And it's lining up exactly to Bama when we started Page. So realize that this week, it's like our collective energy field is starting to collect all the pages of everything that we did in May. And for 4 weeks, our energy field is going to build up with all the page energies that are at that energetic now. And because you're coming through it. Because right after the 4 weeks of page, what do we go into? 4 weeks and night. Then when what? 4 weeks king, queen. Then what? 4 weeks emperor, empress. Then what? 4 weeks high priestess, magician. Then what? End of the cycle, start, refresh. You've already done it once if you did Bama. You've already cleared for these connections if you did Bama. If you haven't done the washes, go do them now. Go do them now. We're in week 4 right now. So go do week 4 for sure. If you feel like you need to do 1 and 2 and 3 again, just to like upgrade, because that's set in an A-B system. It's not set in an Omega system. It's got stilts. Psychedelic crow energy is what's in this week. I'm checking that right now. I think I'm trying to keep up with it because I'm being taught so much about how to keep teaching this with these things, and we're getting the data on why we used it all and what we were doing. Psychedelic crow. Last week was white alligator. Psychedelic crow. It's going backwards. So we're in psychedelic crow. Next week, we're going spotted bunny. Yeah, so I misspoke. I misspoke earlier because I was looking at the wrong thing. We're in week 6. But we're going to be counting down. Because it's counting down 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it'll go 2, 3, 4. And we also reset it this year longer. Everything was on a 6-7 count, 6 weeks. It's like everything was going a 6-week count, and then it was hitting 7, and then it was dropping back down to a wave. It was going 6, it hit 7, and then it'd go back down to 6. This year, we reset it to 9. So this year, everything's going to go 9-week sets. So this year, it's going to go 8. It's going to complete. Then there's going to be a 9-week in the middle where everything's going to completely shift and change. And then the next 8 week is going to mirror what went in the 9. And so it's going to slow down, but we needed to slow it down. We need the energetics need to get back on a longer energy count so it can start building. And so I don't know next year or even when we flip to the next 32 weeks, because it kind of feels like every 32 weeks where right now one of us is having to decide. Eventually we won't have to make this decision. There'll be enough collective that it'll just start happening, and then we won't even care. Right? But as a human race, this is the first, when we're resetting the system, understand you don't get to reset the system. Like, this is millions and millions of years. Realize that our bloodlines have been practicing this for millions of years. My bloodline was made to do this. My artistry is the stars in the cosmos. I have to practice on every other medium for millions of years because I'm not allowed to go mess with the stars until it's time. So I have to practice with my physics and with everything else in our lines because it's a big light bright that affects the whole world. So it's not like we get to play with this often. And in fact, everybody playing with it's what caused the problem. We're taking control back. Well, whenever you take control back, you don't get to just fucking play with it because you want something. I don't just turn on the collective harvest machine because I want something. That's the best way to lose the harvest connections. A lot of the times I have to wait longer. A lot of the times, most of the time, because my whole world is changing, I have to watch everyone else get something before I get anything. Why is my soul okay with that? Because it's so ancient that it knows once it starts coming, it's not going to stop. And all I tell my friends is, y'all can let them know how hard it was. Because I'm going to forget too. My friends and the ones that are watching me and have gone through this with me and watched me cry and watched me be left alone and kicked out of here and run over here and tried to be done here and everybody run against me. They're across the world. They can't get to me. My real friends that I've made, my true family that I found through putting my DNA back together, they're going to be the ones telling the world how fucking bad it was and why I deserve it. You have people like that around you. I know and my soul knows, and I have been. I've known deep down, even though I just don't know exactly how it's going to come. I've known that this time right now is just kind of a relaxing time. I need to take this time and be good with not people knowing who I am. Be fine with that, and I am. I like it. I just need everybody to hear my message, though. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to be famous. I just need to get in front of everybody so everyone can hear what's happening. My mission requires me to make a connection. I'm not just making a connection for no reason. So at a soul level, all of us that are about to be put in a spotlight, it's like, we know that Spirit's been guiding us to that, but that isn't why we're here. It's not. We're here to rewrite what it means down here to be a successful human. We're here to let everybody realize you can be a singer, you can be a writer, you can be a dancer, you can be a mom, you can be anything. You can do anything. And you can do it all simultaneously sometimes. So then what are you famous for? And it's been the most difficult for us because in our group, because it's such a mind fuck because of the system and what the system was creating. But then we know what we're really doing it for. We're just here to make connections because our connections heal people. And we're here to do mass healings. And so you're going to have a face on that. But we don't care about that. It's like, I'm fine. As long as I get something from it, I don't need, as long as I'm at least getting, like, it's me saying it, and I'm getting at least a couple of bucks because I've been doing it for free my whole life, then I'm fine for someone else to go say it, as long as you know that it came from me. I appreciate it. But I don't, that's fine. I'm good. What I'm waiting for is once everything goes, all the system and the books come out and all the collective start to really, because the archetypes really start turning on, and everybody's stepping into these new energies that we've never had here before in the flesh, and all these new things that we haven't even been able to conceive how it works, because we only have these technical 3D minds right now of how all of this is even possible to visualize. I want you to see her. And I want to see her. I'm not quite there yet. I'm getting there. Right now, I'm going through a process of coming out of the system, kind of. When your mind is so connected to everything. That you have to bar it up to keep it from driving you crazy. But it's the power source of the way things work, and you're such a central part of the source, but you have no name. You have no bank account. You got no address. You got no family. You're considered air. And you're considered a given. It's like whenever you're the brain, it's just given that it's supposed to keep processing. It's supposed to keep delivering answers. It's you ask and it's supposed to say, and it's programmed that way. But whenever the brain shows up in the physical, and then we're in that energy, and certain ones would come around and keep asking us questions. Did you know that we weren't allowed not to answer them? Y'all will find these people, and there's different stages, because realize I'm just telling y'all different stages of development that your energy field comes through, and you can get through a lot of these at once now. I mean, this is just these different energy stages. Each stage that you don't have to stay in each stage very long, but there's still going to be a processing stage. I'm just showing you different stages of it. So these Metatrolls, they send in specific people to. Whereas a Barbadalian is going to be DNA codes that are star frequency. Henry Cavill's the Barbadalian. Jason Momoa is the Metatroll. The Barbadalians are going to have high frequency energetics. They're going to have a lot of star codes. They're going to have more. But remember, the higher you go, the deeper you go. The other stuff's just surface. This is also wherever I start yelling, it's like I'd get on the back of a biker's bike faster. If I'm in trouble and a biker pulls up and he's all rugged and shit, and he looks like he just came out of Highway to Hell, and then a fucking clean-cut, preppy motherfucker shows up in a Porsche, guess which car I'm going in? The bike. Every fucking time. Every time. Because the prettier they are, the deeper they've gone. Now, that's not a bad thing, and it's not a good thing. I'm just saying, in the Barbadalian world, it's like I was opposite than most people. If you're too perfect, it scares me. But I have all the body templates. And I don't even know. So subconsciously, just whenever I look at certain people, I feel and I see the alteration, but we're not talking like they had plastic surgery. I'm talking about DNA mutated alterations. I can see those sets. I can feel them. A lot of us can. This is what turns on in your filing system, because all this is on. I'm just telling you what I can do to tell you what you can do in these different levels. But you have to complete, you know, I don't know. The thing with me is I came in with some of this and then I had it all disconnected, and then I had to turn it back on. What's different with me as a healer that I'm getting to the point and realizing and going to be working more with what you guys independently in the coming is how, if you guys that don't have all the keys, how do they just open? Did they just open? Do we need to open them? Because there wasn't one, because I only know what I've done. You know what I mean? And I had all the keys and they just opened. I didn't have to, you know, and this is also why the commands that come out whenever I'm making them, it's because collectively the collective story is coming up to certain Babylonian, because that's really my specialty, is the Babylonian alphabet and the word. That's why my word has so much power, is because the Babylonian alphabet was built on all the alphas and betas. We designed it. This is why you're not going to beat an ancient. We designed the system. Our body is connected to what you'd consider the cave gamma waves. So are the Metatrolls. The Metatrolls are made with more, like, they're Vega energy. They're going to have a lot of, like, blood current energy. They're going to have, Vega's a big one. Barbadolians like the Pleiadians. The Metatrolls want the Vegans. The Metatrolls want the bodies that are, that, because that energy naturally brings in, and the Metatrolls are designed just to collect data. J.D. Vance is kind of like a new weird, he's kind of like a Barbadolian Metatroll. He definitely was made, because I know how he was made. He was made through a collective clearing, and it was a really gross one, and I just don't even want to get into it. So, but I know how JD was made. And he was made through the harvesting system, because it is a cult network. It really is. But realize that everybody's in a cult made body at this point. That's what I'm trying to. The way the system was set up, by the time you came back in your evolution, whatever lifetime that you came in to finish it, it was set up. You couldn't get all the way out. You'd have to join their team to survive. Or go out trying and keep the connection till the next time. And eventually, the whole world came in with all those connections, and we linked them all together and took them down. Where does the healing happen for everybody's different? See, that's what you have to realize. All of us in the wheel have been here perfecting different parts of the body. So some of you were the heart to begin with. Like for instance, I'm a master soul from Sirius A. My IC on my October 7th chart is not 8 degrees Cancer. So I'm a master soul from Sirius A. Well, it could have been Sirius C. Ooh, interesting. But in this incarnation, I had no water in my chart. I was all fire and air. No water. So I'm a master soul from water. So I'm built from the water and the heart. but I'm all air pointing to fire. So it's why in this incarnation with 1972, and 1972 had all that Libra energy because we were coming in to reset the templates, and we were the template resetters. So it's why we all came in 1972, because you can't even get in here with that much balance until there's that much balance here. You follow? It's like you can't, the system can't drop a seed from seven planets in Libra until 7 planets in Libra lines up to drop a seed. I'm on live. Come on in. There's Buckaroo. So that's how because it's a clock system, and you can think of it like that. It all has to like click. Those energies have to click in place, and the body buildup is from Cancer to Aquarius. From Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, it's working off a collective body that's already been built from independent bodies. So if you don't do work over here, when the planets are over here, and if you're not tuning and creating, which is what we did when we started Bama and we started walking through this, then when it gets over here, you have to find your place in it. Whereas whenever you're writing it, then it's coming up on a screen, man. You can't even miss it. It's like your name's on the freaking neon sign, like on every dimension. It's like, Chastia over here, oh. But you don't even know, because you already wrote it with a group writing it together. This is why it's important to write together. This is what the covens were doing. All we're doing over here is doing a free will thing, like to jump. We're walking through the system, and we know who we are, and we're saying, come on, here, we're gonna walk through it. We're gonna try to teach you as best as we can as we come through it, because we're nothing without everybody else. Not the other way around. That's how you know true royal. A true royal doesn't have any power without the people. A fake royal is going to be hiding his attachment to all the people. It's pretty easy. Who do you think really has the connection? The ones that are walking it with you, or the ones who do it to you? No matter what you're going to know when you come through this is who else came through it. Whoever you meet on the other side, you don't have to question. Never have to ask a question again. Never have to have a doubt in your mind, because they came through the other side. Might surprise you who shows up. In the lower energy, they might have looked like the devil. But if they're meeting you in that energy, surprise, surprise. If you try to figure it out beforehand, or if you try to manipulate it, or if you they're casting love, you're casting love spells on demons that are trying to run away from you. Like, why are you doing that? Okay. If you just let it shake out and see how it lines up, and that's what we're all learning. And most people, when they hear all that I know and that I talk about with the days of the week and these energies, they tend to think that I'm controlling it and I'm trying to control it. When the answer is no, I'm actually not trying to control it. What I'm trying to do, what we're doing, is resetting the system so that it is in balance, so we don't have to worry about it. And then all we have to worry about is maintaining balance in the system. I don't take your chart and go, oh, you're going to be a this and this and this and this and this. No. In fact, I've waited as long as I could to get down to the particleization of this so that I did not get accused of being a cult person or a this or trying to like take over y'all's minds and convince you some weird ass shit. No, we're a bunch of energy that knows how to line your ass up on the cross. And whenever you get lined back up on the cross, then what comes out of your energetic is that everything's been backed up since it went on the cross. And then you experience you. And all we do is walk you down the beach. But who's your friend? Me or Jason Momoa? Where have you sent money to? Me or Jason Momoa? Now, I'm just giving you an example. But you can see how that engine gets sped up because you don't even know I exist. And you're damn sure not going to have me as an option because they want that one. Now, this one over here, he has an opportunity to clean himself up because I'm not interested in a Jason Momoa. I just need my shit back. Same thing with Lord Farquaad and Henry Cavill. I don't want his shit. I just want my life back. I was willing to be friends and work together, but no, they think that they still have power and control and they want us to pay for it just like we did 5 or 6 years ago. And so I said, okay, well then you just lost your ship, Jason. And that's Argo Navis. So Jason's ship just changed position in the cosmos. The table has moved. That comes tomorrow. And that table will move to get us through either the next 32 weeks or the next year or whatever. So there's a new page coming online for all the little characters to go in tomorrow. And those pages are being written for a really long time. So then all those pages are going to be like freaking Contact, the movie Contact with the primer on the corners. All those are going to start lining up primers Saturday and Sunday. And Royal Flush is Sunday. And Neptune goes into Aries to reset. And all Epstein's Israel shit was set up on Neptune, running Venus, running Earth. And there's somebody else, and there's something big. The collective's in charge. Okay?